Hey guys, Jack Show here. Today I'm on a hunter SungJinWoo, and I figured I'd bring to you BM Hunter Guide. Um, so first and foremost, a little bit about myself. I'm 2400 XP in 2s, 3s, and solo. This season so far, I've been mainly pushing 2s, but I'm sitting at 2125. I think I'm about like rank 15 or something on the ladder. Um, Anyways, just telling you all this because you guys know how it is these days. If you don't have credentials, like people just don't listen. So figured I would just throw that in. But yeah, let's get started with the guide. So first we're going to go over talents. For the talents, it's pretty cookie cutter. We're going to be going with pack leader. If you look on Dressfar, it doesn't matter if it's 2s, 3s, solo, everyone is pretty much running pack leader. There are some people that are starting to experiment with Dark Ranger. So both probably are viable, but for an easy kind of cookie cutter spec, pack leader's where it's at. It's pretty much revolving around Barbed Shot and Kill Command, and our Kill Command is summoning things like Dire Beasts, Wyverns, all these things that increase our damage and just give us more pets. It's a pretty cool spec. You get 2 pets that you get to control, so that's pretty cool. But yeah. Um, Other than that, we're going to move over to stats. For stats, we're going to be stacking mastery. We pretty much want to get as much mastery as we can. After that, we're going to be going for versatility and then haste. For me, I did go with the 2 set. I went with the chest and the gloves. Part of the reason for that is because the gloves give a lot of mastery, which is nice. Now in the chest, it's kind of unfortunate we don't get mastery, but we do get a good amount of haste, which haste is important. It's just not as important as it used to be. So yeah, that's nice. And again, our 2 set, why it's important is because it's increasing the direct damage of Bestial Wrath by 25%, which in PvP it's halved, but 12.5% is still insane. So yeah. And then pretty much from there, yeah, we're stacking mastery and verse on all of our other pieces. There is going to be a couple of pieces that you're going to want to get crafted. So for me, I got the neck crafted, I got the shoulders, the back, the bracers, the belt, the boots, and the rings. So there's quite a bit. And pretty much like, yeah, you're just getting versatility and mastery on all of them. For the embellishments, I just went with Panga Charm or Pango Charm, whatever it is, the one that increases your versatility. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. And then for my weapon enchant, I went with the Arcane Mastery. You can go with Rend. I just like the extra mastery personally, especially since a lot of the times as like a BM hunter, you're kiting and you're LOSing and you're using like your pets to do damage. So that extra mastery can come in like handy. That's why I like that personally. Okay, so after that, we're going to go over the rotation. The rotation's pretty, again, it's pretty cut and dry, guys. We're going to be bob and weaving our Barbed Shot and Kill Command. So pretty much you start off with Barbed Shot, you follow it by Kill Command, and you're going back and forth. When you can't use either of them, that's when you're using Cobra Shot. Or if you can't use Barbed Shot before Kill Command, then we're using Cobra Shot as well. I'll demonstrate it here in a sec. But yeah, on the priority system, the way it pretty much goes is Bestial Wrath #1. Bestial Wrath, if we use it, it'll empower our Kill Command, so I'll show you here quickly. I pop my Bestial Wrath, my Kill Command turns all shiny. That gives us an empowerment, so you'll see when I use it here, a Stampede goes forward and it does a ton of damage, like an insane amount of damage. So yeah, you have Bestial Wrath #1, the Shiny Kill Command #2, and then that's followed by Barbed Shot, and then Kill Command, and then Cobra Shot. So I'll just demonstrate here for you really quickly. So I'm going to do Barbed Shot. The reason why I'm opening with Barbed Shot is because I need that Barbed Shot generates focus for us. Not only that, but it puts a bleed dot on the target. That's amazing against stealth classes like ferals, rogues, etc. We want to get that bleed on them as quick as possible, stop them from re-stealthing. And then the other reason why we're bob and weaving the Barbed Shot and Cobra Shots in between our kill commands is because of this talent here. Barbed Shot, Cobra Shot, and Black Arrow increase the damage of your next kill command by 30%. So that's pretty much, before I use a kill command, I always want to make sure that I'm using either a Barbed Shot or a Cobra Shot before it. So I'll just demonstrate really quickly. Okay, so I'm opening. I open with a Barbed Shot. I follow it by Bestial Wrath, Empowered Kill Command, Barbed Shot, Kill Command, Barbed Shot, Kill Command, and I'm pretty much just bob and weaving. Here I don't have my Barbed Shot, so I'm going to Cobra Shot, then Kill Command. That way I get that empowerment, that 30%. And then yeah, from here it's just, again, I'm going back and forth, and I'm just bob and weaving, Barbed Shot and Kill Command, or Cobra Shot and Kill Command. And that's pretty much the rotation. It's really simple. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Other than that, I'll go through some tips and tricks really quickly. So as a hunter, the number one priority that you need to be focusing on is landing your traps. The more traps you can land in a game, the more wins you're gonna secure. It's just plain and simple. That's what makes hunters so powerful. It's not necessarily our damage; it's our ability to CC and trap. And then also your kicks. So landing your kicks and improving your ability to kick. Because again, it's so hard to telegraph. And it's so hard for the healer to see coming. So it's so easy to secure games. Especially when you're fighting against like things like Disc Priest, monks, like healers that like have times where they're hard casting. Like, it's just, you have to get good at kicking. But anyways, one of the tips that I have for you guys today is when I start out my games, I like to start out in stealth. So here, I'll just pull my pets off really quickly. But I like to start out in stealth, and then from here I have a macro. It's my tar trap, a freezing trap macro. So if I would go up to the healer, I would tar trap, and then as you can see, it changes to a freezing trap, which then I would freezing trap. I then binding shot the DPS, and I start my rotation and my damage. The reason why I like opening with the freezing trap is because then I can immediately follow with a stun and a silence afterwards, and it usually always secures a trinket. You gotta think, in 13 seconds or whatever it ends up being of CC, like you and the healer, especially if you're running with like a Void Priest or something, you can do a lot of damage in that amount of time. So it usually always forces a trinket, and if they happen to trinket that trap first, then I have my stun, I have my silence to follow up, and then also I have my healer that can also land CC as well. So it's so strong if you can land that trap at the start of the game, especially if you don't need to use your stun first. Other than that though, guys, yeah, we have two other ways that we can, after the whole opening stun or opening trap, throughout the game, I have two ways that I'm landing my traps. One's with Concussive Shot. So what I usually like doing is I like luring the DPS away from their healer when my CC isn't available. And from there, when my Disengage comes back or my freezing trap comes back, that's where I'm going to disengage back towards the healer. I'm going to land my Concussive Shot into a trap. By doing that, again, it allows me to save my stun and my silence to extend that CC chain. So that's very nice. Otherwise, if I happen to if I need to land that trap and I want to secure it, then I can always just land the stun, pop the trap, and then silence afterwards. Both techniques work, both are fine. I just personally like the Concussive Shot way because, like I said, I can save my stun and my silence, especially if they happen to trinket, then it's really powerful. The next tip and trick is exactly kind of what I was talking about, is when we don't have our CC available, you have to be kiting the DPS away from the healer. So if I were to pretend that this is my healer here, the shaman, after I CC the healer, I'm going to be looking to drag the DPS, LOS. So now you'll see, if I have a warrior here, for instance, my healer's here so that he can still be healing me and he can still DPS the DPS. He can control their healer over here, who's now LOS of their damage, and then I can hopefully secure the kill here. Worst case scenario, what it allows me to do is I can maybe pop a slow, a stun, whatever it is. My CC's back up, I run back towards the healer, I CC him again, we land the kill. stuff like that. I think that's something that people need to like work on, is using using like LOS when you don't have your CC available to you as a way to put pressure and more pressure on their healers and stress them out. That would be something I would highly recommend working on. Other than that, guys, lastly, I'll just go over macros. So I use a lot of Arena 1, 2, and 3 macros. So I have my Arena 1, 2, 3 stuns, my kicks, my silences. I have my app player Master's Call. For the most part, it's pretty simple. This is my tar trap, freezing trap macro, so that's the one that you saw before, where I pop my tar trap and my freezing trap. That one's really nice. This is something I recommend doing on all of your attacks, so kill command, barbed shot, cobra shot, adding in these here for your pet. This will just help make it so that your pet is always using its special ability on cooldown, which that's the Mortal Strike ability. And it also makes it easier for your pets to swap targets. So if you happen to swap targets, they'll swap with you immediately, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, I have that there. I have my app player flare macro, so that's this one here. And I have it as mouse wheel down. I use this against rogues and ferals all the time, so making sure that my flare is always on cooldown. That's another tip and trick that I would throw in there, is like against rogues and stealthies, like making sure that flare is always on cooldown. Lastly, I would say the last one that I have here is this macro here. So this is my Disengage Trank macro. So it just makes it so that like when I disengage, I can pop a Trank. Because in midair, there's a spot there where you can launch the Trank and it doesn't screw with your GCDs. Because when you land, you're back to doing damage again. So you can either throw Trank in there or Concussive Shot. Both work. But yeah, I like Trank. But yeah, guys, that's about it. I think that's everything. I don't really have any other macros that are worth really showing. I mean, I have my one macro here. It just pops Survival of the Fittest and Healthstone. That's it. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. If there's any questions that you have, please let me know. You can just comment below. If you wouldn't mind, also give the stream a follow. I'll have the stream in the description. I haven't really come up with a schedule yet, but I will be. They'll come in the near future. And then I also play a ton of classes, guys. Like I'm 2K plus on a lot of classes, so you can expect more guides to come: Fury, Warrior, Feral, Red, etc. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and God bless.